the land whom we are all well pleased. Chairman of the occasion, our father, Chief Provost Ada George. You know, it's difficult to speak after you've made your statements. When you have given us the history, so intimidating, it's difficult to stand here because you've established it all. And for those of us who are students of E.J. Alago, who have followed him at his feet, we bear witness that it is the truth and only the truth that you have said. Your Royal Majesties, let me especially greet the children of Chief Melford Okilo who are here. Stand up, two of you, stand up to recognize. You know, they don't need the DNA. Once you see them, it is there. And of course, the grandchild is also there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for me, it is a great honor and privilege to stand here and bring some words from our father and the authentic Democrat, the authentic peace builder, the authentic citizen who has always said that his ambition to rule people, his ambition to govern does not warrant the blood of anybody. And that is His Excellency President Goodluck Obeine Jonathan. He has asked me to greet everybody here present and to thank especially the organizers of this great event. Musend, the government of Rivers State, and the NDDC in particular. So let me also recognize the National Chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, distinguished Senator Emmanuel Ebok Ese, who is here with us. When Chief Ada George was speaking, he said something already about President Jonathan, and that is the fact that, or the fact he forgot, is that the political structure, when we come to talk about structure, that Okilo laid is not only here in Rivers State. That political structure is what we continue to follow also in Bayelsa State. So, President Jonathan has asked me to express the fact that Okilo is not only his political mentor, but is his father, in whose feet he had learnt the art of governance and art of being given responsibility to over people. So this event is one that we would have not missed to come. But you know, we are in West Africa, we're in Africa, where there's a lot of dynamism. And President Jonathan, our President Jonathan, is now President Jonathan of West Africa, of Africa, and of the world. Hello. Obeine. Obeine. How is up? How is up? Well, ladies and gentlemen, so he has asked me to thank all of you for organizing this event, and has appealed that next time let this event be aligned with his program, so that he can be physically present. Because at this stage of his life, we are giving him to the world. And we must always recognize that fact. But he has asked me to mention a few facts that One, Okilo's life should be an inspiration to all of us. Dr. Okilo, I didn't see you. Sorry, don't be upset. You are wearing the chieftaincy cap. I never saw you in that, so that's why I didn't see you on time. That's Chief Okilo's younger brother. Please stand up to be recognized. Thank you. Okay. So that Okilo's life should be an inspiration to all of us. He started like any one of us in the creeks. In the creeks. A young man in the creeks. I see many times they write that Okilo started politics at 25. No. He started politics from about the age of 20. 1920. He started to play politics. He was an interpreter. I was playing local politics in 1953 when the Yenagoa Rural Council was established after the McPherson Constitution. They were teachers they brought in, not elected, to play administrative pseudo-political roles, and Okilo was one of them. So from that time he had started. And when he was following the ZK's movement, he was not yet 25. When he was following the Babri, he was not yet 25. But that his life should be an inspiration. At a very young age, he made himself available. Even when oil was found in Obeine in 1956, and they started to do land acquisition and so on, Okilo, as one of the young men from the area who was relatively educated, having finished primary school. In those days, standard 6 was everything. He was able to stand for the people and make sure that their rights were respected. So that we should make our lives available for service. President Jonathan has also mentioned that let us always recognize the fact that whenever we have office, it is a call to service. And that is the story of Okilo's life. Okilo devoted his life to service. Service of the Niger Delta, service of the job people, service of Nigeria. He believed in hard work. He went through pains, but he believed in hard work. Every responsibility given to him, he excelled. And when we look at the life of President Jonathan also, we see some parallels. For the fact that through hard work and dedication, the son of a man who was an ordinary fisherman, that as Chifada just said, Okilo would say countryman, fisherman from Makalakala. So President Jonathan is the same called, humble family background, worked hard, and God in his mercy took him to the pinnacle. And he's still taking him further. So these are the few messages he has said, and to thank all of you and to let you know that he's always with you in this effort to immortalize Okilo. On a personal note, let me say that I had the great privilege of being very close to Chief Okilo, and we've done a few writings about him. And I do not think that this country had ever produced few philosophical and deep-thinking politicians like him. He was a thinker, he was a philosopher, he was bubbling with ideas. And each time we begin to talk about him, new ideas of what he did comes to light. It's not only as a governor, it is not much written in the record books, but when he was in Parliament from 1959 to 64, he played a major role in the stability of the Balawa government as parliamentary secretary. The duty of the parliamentary secretary is to keep your government members in parliament, the senior people in check, and also make sure you reach out to the opposition. So he was an intersection. He was an interlocutor who kept the government of Balawa in place. And as a very young man, by then 26, 27, he was meandering through with the Igbos, with the Hausas, with the Yorubas, making sure that the government of Balawa, as parliamentary secretary, was stable, combining with his duties as deputy foreign minister. Traditionally, in the diplomatic circle, The Minister of State is in charge of Africa. Okilo played the main role in the Organization of African Union when it was established in 1963. Because it was under his purview, he went many times around and ensured that OAU was formed as a body. The opening of Nigerian embassies was under him. He opened a lot of the big embassies around and ensured that his own friends who didn't follow him to politics all got scholarships to go and study abroad. And many of them came back later to join him. So the point there is that from a young age, he did all this. As a governor, Chief Elder George has said a few things. Additionally, those who were old enough to know the politics of Rivers State know that it was very tough. NPP was very strong, NPM was very strong. But Okilo could meander through all of them. And I remember one occasion, we had NPM students with University of Port Harcourt, and we were following him to house of people who were his opposition. He said, look, I saw with the Duamo. You go there, you go sit down. If they bring Gary, you go drink Gary. You go stay till they see you. That was the man. He had no enemy. His was, and it enabled him. Look at the things he did in River State. Till today, we can't get those things right. He fixed power supply. Used the gas, went to Shagari, got permission from Shagari to allow him build the turbine. And he could connect the whole of River State, whole River State as we call it, and give electricity. Now, Chief Elder George spoke about decentralization. Yes. Deep political philosophy. We are talking of devolution of power. So there's a lecture today, we will not want to dilute it. But just to mention that he was a thinking man, thinking all the time. Himself, there's a challenge that is before us. Himself and Chief Dababire took on the big type Gangantuan behemoth of NCNC when they formed the Niger Delta Congress. Small minority group of people. They said, no, our people need a separate political identity. Fast forward in 1996, Okilo again said, I will not be part of the general, let me form my party. He formed the NSM. Many of you don't remember NSM. Formed NSM. NSM went into election in Bayelsa State and won 2 councils. One in Kirimo local government produced chairman, Christopher Nye. NSM produced the chairman in Brass local government also. All the councillors in Brass were NSM. NSM also produced the councillor in Kulukumo Pokuma, the person of who? Doeji. So when we talk of structure, you can see the link. That is the link. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I join my voice to that of my boss, President Jonathan, whom I stand in for, and thank the organizers of this event. And we hope that what Rivers State has done today, they have shown us it's a level day. Because we have been doing Okilo lecture in Bayelsa State. It has not been like this. I'm from Bayelsa State, let's face fact. We have not had this level. So Rivers State, you are showing us that you are in slight one level. We don't contest that you are senior brothers. And but next year, we have seen what you have done. I will definitely invite you to come and see the greater work that we are going to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Again, a wonderful round of applause for His Excellency. His Excellency, former President of Nigeria, Dr. Ebele Goodluck Jonathan, represented by Ambassador Balade Gali. Thank you, Your Excellency. And again, the message is very clear, very resounding. The need for humility, the need for sincerity in governance, as exemplified by Chief Melford Okilo, and also shown in some of the followers of Chief Melford Okilo, including former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. And again, yes, please, you may. Yes, you may put your hands. Again, referring to the structure, decade ago, but produced a governor today. That is what structures are supposed to be. And that is what he did. And that is what he's still doing. Once again, Your Excellency, thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, permit me to recognize in our midst a very renowned activist in the Niger Delta region, whom I cited, walked in a while ago, an environmentalist, human rights activist, and the founder of the Agape Birthright. Please, let's play hands together and recognize and welcome Ankyo Briggs. Please, you're most welcome. Thank you so much. Ushers, you may kindly usher us to our seats. A while ago, we also recognize and welcome Honorable Barrister Eddie Orubo, former Bayelsa State representative on the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission. You're most welcome, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. Your Excellencies, it is also my distinct pleasure to recognize and welcome the Rector of the Institute of Tourism and Hospitality, Bayelsa State, Professor Apuega Arikawe. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, understanding protocol very well, however, these distinguished personalities a while ago he was recognized, but permit me again to formally recognize him. The National Chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Senator Emmanuel Bokesian. You're welcome, distinguished Senator, please. I've just been told that the son of the Deputy Governor, while Chief Melford Obeine Okilo was the Governor, is also here with us in the hall. And Chief Melford Okilo's son just whispered that to me. Please, Mr. could you just rise up for recognition? That's the son of the Deputy Governor while Okilo was governor. You want to welcome, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, please also permit me to recognize Honorable Chief Roberts and Noga Yana, President of Yana Group of Companies. Thank you so much. And the Obia ladies, thank you so very much for all you're doing. Thank you so very much. Obia Brotherhood Ministry worldwide, thank you so much. Your Excellencies, at this juncture, we'll be having the Mother of the Day give us her remarks. And please permit me to welcome the representative of Our Excellency Dame Patience Parker Jonathan, former First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by Dr. Precious Benon. Please welcome her. Let's put our hands together for our remarks. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Secretary to State Government, our royal fathers of the day, please permit me to stand an already established protocol. I bring warm felicitation from the Mother of the Day, Dame Patience Parker Jonathan, who asked me to represent her because she has other engagements. And she said, I should tell you people that she's solidly behind whatever we're doing today, and that Dr. Melford Okilo was a father to her, and she sends her greeting even as a daughter of the Obia people. I don't know much about what they say is, but what she said is that whatever it is you want her to do, she's ready and most willing to do it, and she will send her contributions to you people. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency. Thank you so much. And a wonderful round of applause again to the representative of Your Excellency, Dr. Patrick. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, Your Excellency, the Special Guest of Honor, His Excellency Dr. Okilo Jonathan, represented by His Excellency Dr. Okilo Gali, His Excellency, the Guest of Honor and the Chief Host, the Governor of River State, Similai Fubara, represented here by His Excellency Dr. Tami Danagogo. Permit me at this juncture to welcome our royal fathers for their speech. And first, to give his speech, please, I'd like for us to welcome His Majesty King Dr. Dandan Singh Douglas Jaja Jackie V, CFR, DSSRS, Treaty King, Amayanabo, Natural Ruler of Opobo Kingdom, the Co-Chairman, Southern Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council, and the Chancellor, Federal University, Tutsima, Katsina State, King Jaja Dandan Singh Douglas Jaja. You're welcome, sir, the King of Opobo.
The Governor of River State, heavily represented by the Secretary to the Government, please, at this juncture, can I rest on the existing protocol? Today's event is memorable and historic. For me, I got to know this personality, this wonderful man of Obeine extraction, from a personal experience. Chief Okilo saw me for the first time when he came to Okilo. And at that time, I was struggling with my 23 years legal battle. And those who thought I was running too fast stole my car to stop me from moving from one court to the other. So as he came in, somebody looked back to him that my car had just been stolen. So he told immediately, without wasting time, he asked the legislator who was there with us, what if Akoto to send a driver the following morning to get me a car. That's what the man was talking about. That's the man we all venerate as a man who knew what he was created for and who sought to borrow. This is a man who, whether that was thinking of other forms of government, wanted to decentralize government from the center and created what was called functional committees. Functional committees, I experienced it because during the functional committee days, Opobo became so populated. Those who left Opobo in those days and came over to the center had to go back to Opobo, and everywhere was booming. The local economy was not so booming. So this is a practical man that did not want to waste time with too much of political ideology and all. But it was a practical man. So I want to say that we, the River State, Nigeria as a whole really lost a deep thinker, a man who was ready to obey. And we pray that wherever he is, God will continue to bless him. So thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, next, to give us his speech. Your Excellencies, permit me to welcome and recognize His Eminence, King Alfred Papa DSSP, CFR DFJP, the Amenable Tuan Brass Kingdom by Youngster States, the first military governor of Old River States, and the chairman, AFRIDU, African Traditional Rulers in Diaspora and African Union's 6th region. Your Eminence, you're welcome for your speech.
Então, okay. On now, well, let me just start by saying that Okilo is my brother, my cousin on my mother's side, who grew up in the Makalakala. And on your Obeine side, the Jokos and the Amanges on my father's side. So I'm cousin to him on both sides. We thank God. Let me also add that in 1961, when I was going to apply for a license or rather a passport to travel abroad, it was Okilo who signed my form for me. When I came back and later became governor, and the government had been displaced by the military, I made sure I got Okilo back from America where he was taking refuge. And I came and held several positions as commissioners. He started off as chairman of the Transport Corporation and then later commissioner for education. And I still recall very clearly Okilo, soon after we passed our budget, listing out that some new schools will be built. The next month, Okilo has opened the schools. This was quite a challenge to my government because when I asked him, he said, where are the schools? He said, some of them are under umbrella trees. But the fact that the budget has designated that these schools be built during that financial year, he now has moved. He was that lightning speed. And among other things also, he's the one who came up and said, Obeine has been on the map for so long. Why don't you have an Obeine state? We worked on that. Unfortunately, because among the 50 states that were to be created, I think Obeine state was supposed to be one. Well, I'm happy that the River State government has picked up the gauntlet. The Bayelsa State government has been having these lectures. Only last month, I think, it was Ambassador God knows Gali who coordinated that. And this has gone a long way to keep Okilo's name alive. I'm very pleased that the River State has also picked up the challenge and come up with this. I wasn't going to miss this outing for all the tea in China or the oil in Nigeria. That's why we are here, and I'm here with my wife, with just business class. I'm happy that the speeches are clearly spelled out who created what structure in these days of a lot of people claiming who is who in the River State. And furthermore, quoting my governor, there is no old River State or new River State. It is River State simplicity. I will join in thanking all of you for showing up in such numbers, looking always brilliantly at especially the Obeine women. Women, oye! That's the idea. Thank you very much.
Please, a wonderful round of applause for the candidates. Please lift their hands together for him. Fantastic work, fantastic words. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you, Your Eminence. Your Excellencies, again, there's no need saying it too much. River State is one. And in the word of His Excellency, Sir Sinelai Fubara, it is rivers first. And that is what this is all about today. Rivers first. Your Excellencies, at this juncture, we have a documentary. And it's a short documentary about Melford Okilo. Permit, should I go ahead with the documentary? Fantastic. I've just been told the documentary should air. Please, let's have the documentary played now. Thank you so very much. Media, can we have the documentary? Thank you.
It is 15 years since Chief Melford Obeine Okilo first elected civilian governor of Old River State, an accomplished leader, passed on. During his 75 years on earth, Chief Okilo traversed the political landscape of Nigeria. He had a distinguished career as a politician from the start of independence in 1960 until shortly before his death in 2008. He was a member of Parliament from 1960 to 1964 and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria's First Republic. He was the first elected governor of Old River State from October 1st, 1979 to December 31st, 1983 during the Nigerian Second Republic. Later, he was elected into the Senate to represent the Bayelsa East Senatorial District from 1999 to 2003 during the Fourth Republic. Imakalakala is a community situated on the eastern flank of Obeine local government area of Bayelsa State. This is where Chief Melford Obeine Okilo was born. Melford was born on November 30, 1933 into the family of Chief Otio Okilo and Mrs. Ibidi Okilo. Melford's father, who later became Simon Okilo, was an accomplished farmer and fisherman. His mother, Ibidi, was a daughter of a local warlord, Chief Ojoko, the son of Chief Amani of Ogbolomabri in Nimbe Kingdom, a few kilometers away from Imakalakala. As a first male child of the family, Melford's early life was saddled with responsibilities that challenged him to be self-conscious of his divine purpose in life. As part of daily routine to survive in the village at that time, it was traditional for children to accompany their parents to farming and fishing. In one of such trips to a fishing port settlement, young Melford fell off a locally constructed old bridge into the river while making his way to a toilet and was reportedly under the waters for quite a while before he was rescued. Similarly, there is yet another untold story of a white bird that usually visited the Okilo family house in Emakalakala while Melford's mother was pregnant with him. The bird, according to a maternal niece to Okilo, Mrs. Joy Yebufura, visited the house daily and perched on the roof of the family house for hours throughout the period of her pregnancy. In 1940, Chief Melford Okilo started his formal education at St. Michael's Primary School, Obeine, a neighboring community, and the then provincial headquarters of Obeine district in the then eastern region of Nigeria. 1 year after the Second World War, he graduated. So between 1947 and 1949, Chief Okilo proceeded to St. John's Teachers Training College, Port Harcourt, to sharpen his skills in the teaching profession. On graduation, he taught at St. Cyprian's Primary School, Port Harcourt, till 1955, before moving on to be a judicial clerk and interpreter in Digima under the defunct Eastern Nigerian government judicial system. This position earned him great respect and popularity as he attended to his duties diligently with passion. Encouraged by foremost nationalist and founder of the Niger Delta Congress NDC political party, Chief Harold Dapa Brie, Okilo at age 26 gave up his judicial job, sold his bicycle to raise funds to contest in the parliamentary elections. The result of the election shocked the people as young Okilo, first beneficiary of Chief Dapa Brie's political struggle for the Niger Delta's political and economic emancipation, emerged victorious as the only candidate out of the 11 that were fielded on the platform of the Niger Delta Congress NDC and the Northern People's Congress NDC alliance. This unique coalition, and indeed Melford Okilo's election victory, accelerated the British final endorsement for Nigeria's independence.
When Okilo now won this election, NPC now saw it as an opportunity to strengthen that alliance with minorities in the south, in the southern part of this country, particularly Niger Delta. It was that one seat that enabled the formation of a national government. That, to a very large extent, spurred the British government to endorse the independence request of Nigeria, and thus it happened in 1960.
Shortly after the elections, Chief Okilo was appointed Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, on October 1st, 1960, and later, in 1961, a Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. And early in 1963, Okilo represented Nigeria as one of the founding members of the African Liberation Committee in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He was among the brains behind the creation of the Organization of African Unity and the formation of the African Liberation Committee in the Tanzanian capital, Dar es Salaam. In the same year, Okilo led a federal government delegation to the 18th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, where he addressed the world body on behalf of Nigeria. He also served on the first political committee of the United Nations. Just before the military intervention in the First Republic, Chief Melford Okilo registered as an external student at the University of London and at Blackstone School of Law, Chicago, USA, where he obtained an LLB degree. He later spent 1 year at the University of Birmingham, England, for postgraduate studies. At the end of the Nigerian Civil War, Chief Okilo returned to the country. Between 1970 and 1975, they served the Old River State under Navy Commander Alfred Papa Priedieta's 5th Military Administration in various capacities. He was chairman of the River State Transport Corporation, Commissioner of Education, Commissioner of Petroleum Matters, Labor and Field Administration. He was also chairman, Agriculture and Marketing Corporation. Having served in various capacities in the Old River State military regime, Chief Okilo was once again back in the political space. He was elected councillor of Obeine Ward 1 in Rouse local government area of Old River State between 1976 and 1977. Chief Okilo was also elected to represent Rouse local government area as member of the Constituent Assembly to draft Nigerian Constitution as the military prepared to disengage itself from the political administration of the Nigerian state. When the opportunity to run for the gubernatorial race presented itself, he contested and won to become the first executive governor of Old River State under the platform of the defunct National Party of Nigeria, NPN. Guided by the experiences gathered at the federal and state levels, Okilo was very well equipped to serve, and did so with a clear vision to face the daunting developmental challenges ahead. During the period in review, Chief Okilo established the River State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, first of its kind in Nigeria. He also increased by over 50% the number of primary, post-primary, and tertiary institutions in the state. Okilo went on to introduce free education from primary to tertiary levels, generously granted postgraduate overseas scholarships, reformed and overhauled the educational system, widened the scope, and provided more facilities to make the educational system more efficient and productive. Okilo's administration also went on to encourage the revision of school syllabus to include moral and ethical values towards building the man, a major in our youths. He modernized and equipped hospitals and built new ones for effective healthcare delivery service in the state. It is a truism that Chief Melford Okilo was actively involved in the campaign for the accelerated development of the Niger Delta. This led to the passing of the Niger Delta Development Board NDDB Act, enacted in 1961, and the spearheading of the just demand for the abrogation of the onshore-offshore dichotomy and the struggle for the adoption and the enforcement of the derivation principle and the control of funds accruable to oil-producing states. Happily, on Friday, June 3, 1983, Justice Muhammadu Uwais passed a judgment on behalf of 6 other lordships at the Supreme Court in favor of the oil-producing states. The verdict was that the 1.5% derivation money meant for the development of the oil-producing areas be managed by the individual states' components, namely rivers, Cross River, and Bender states. To make good his dream for his people as an educationist, Chief Okilo went further to privately sponsor many young ones to acquire Western education at all levels, except for those who could not cope with formal education or were sent to technical schools to acquire skills, to actualize themselves in their pursuit for a better standard of living. He also provided starter packs for the trained, market women, fishermen, and upkeep allowances for the elderly. At the home front, Chief Okilo was said to be a loving father to his 6 children. Mr. Peter, Mr. Zabola, Chief Enaya, Barrister Elona, Miss Idi, and Honorable Ochio Okilo. In 1983, Chief Okilo was elected governor of Old River State for a second tenure, a term that was aborted by a military coup d'etat on 31 December 1983. He was arrested and detained alongside other politicians. He appeared before 5 military tribunals set up to investigate alleged corrupt politicians and their allies and aides, including government contractors. He was, however, not found guilty. It is interesting to note that the military thereafter appointed Okilo Minister of Commerce and Tourism in General Sani Abacha's 5-year military regime, which terminated in 1998. As part of the disengagement process from the political and administrative system of the Nigerian state in 1999, Chief Okilo was elected into the Nigerian Senate as a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and represented the Bayelsa East Senatorial District. He was an accomplished author, having several publications to his credit, such as Nigeria, The Search for Political Stability, The Law of Life, The Art of Government and the Okilo Administration, God, Man and Politics, Political Tutorial Topics, and Para.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, one of the books by Chief Melford Okilo is being compiled now, and we have a copy in this hall, and the compilation is done by His Excellency Chief Rufus Adajord. Yes, please. In this tutorial, it's on political tutorial and topics. Some of the prominent sayings of Chief Melford Okilo. It will be distributed in this hall free to everyone. And it is all about getting to know our sense of history, what service and dedication is all about. His Excellency Chief Rufus Adajord has made this available to everyone in this hall, free of charge. Your Excellency, in his speech, while he was speaking a while ago, His Excellency Chief Rufus Adajord said, what is happening today is history in making. History because you find the coming together of the apex social cultural organizations in River State here. Ogbako Ikore is well represented. Ogonis are well represented. All the cultural groups are well represented. Not only that, we also have here some very historical personalities being represented. Here in this hall, we have the daughter of late Major Isaac Jasper Adakaboro. Here in this hall, represented by Dame Esther Boro. Please, could you just line up? Please, let's put our hands together for her. That's the daughter of Adakaboro. She's right here with us. Thank you so very much. Your Excellency, another very interesting aspect of it. In the documentary, it was said that His Excellency Rufus Adajord sold bicycle to sponsor his campaigns during the election. There is a gentleman, Okilo rather. There is a gentleman in this hall who followed His Excellency Melford Okilo throughout the period of the campaigning. In fact, he was the sound engineer. He was the one doing all the voice recording. I don't know how many of you know him, but he's here in the hall. Your Excellencies, let me introduce the gentleman. He's popularly called FB. Mr. Francis Murray Bruce is right here. He was the sound engineer for Chief Melford Okilo. He was the sound engineer, recording all the voices, fine-tuning all the voices during the campaign. He has so much to say about Chief Melford Okilo. Your Excellency, please let's permit him just 3 minutes to tell us how it was campaigning those days when you don't have megaphones and loudspeakers, how the sound was and the kind of recording he did those periods. Please, just put 2 minutes. Thank you.
Who remember yourself? How many of you remember that voice? Okilo, 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 Okilo. How many is it called? 1. How many are 2? 3? 4? That voice was Yeah, they go. Give me a round of applause. Okilo is gone, but his legacies will live forever. Amen. All the existing protocols are hereby signed. But before we continue, if I continue about Okilo, let's all stand and give Okilo full 1 minute silence. All those who can, because he was something else. In total silence, please. I want all of us. Where are the children? Please come forward. The children, come forward. Your father was a great man. Face the crowd, please. The children and grandchildren, even. Starting now, we give this great man a full 1 minute total silence. Now. The soul of Chief Melford Okilo and the souls of all those departed rest in perfect peace. Amen. Thank you very much. And I rest it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, another wonderful round of applause for FB Francis Bruce. That man was behind the recording in the days of Melford Okilo. Your Excellencies, at this juncture, the first lecture for the day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Seats. Thank you. Please permit me to welcome for his lecture the former President General of Isan National Congress (INC), whose tenure was filled with proud moments for each of us. Very bold, articulate, cerebral, a distinguished scholar in the field of medicine. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to welcome Professor Atuboyedia Wolf Obeine for his lecture. Please let's lay hands together for him.
There are activities in this hall. Your Excellencies, first and foremost, let me acknowledge the presence of the former president, ably represented by my friend Dr. Obeine. Let me also recognize the presence of his dear wife, represented by Dr. Okilo, his special assistant. Let me also recognize the governors here present, starting with my governor of the day, Governor Sam Kubara, ably represented my friend, Secretary of Government, Dr. Danago. Let me recognize our father, but my friend, the great brother himself. I want to also recognize here a gentleman who has impacted on my life, the first governor of Rivers State. When Chief Smith was governor, I was one of the beneficiaries of his scholarship. As a student of the Royal School of Science in 1973. I want to recognize everybody here, and to particularly at this moment thank the Rivers State government for putting up this roadshow. The cuckoo has come home to roost in the parlance of English. Okilo rightly belongs here. He was one of us. He walked on the streets of Port Harcourt. He was a student of St. John's School. He was the second occupant of the brick house after his brother did his sleep. So when people try to localize and take him to Obeine, more take time.
That's funny.
Hi, sir. Yeah, but today we are witnessing history. History about the people who are beginning to discover themselves. History about the people who are beginning to honor their own. Time was when men and women will be seen packing their bags to the airport. They are going to Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, just to go and do lunches for another townsman. But they see heroes, men of material and candor, in their midst, serve and fall down, and yet they didn't recognize. Today, I want to talk my heart for the Rivers State government and to the management of LGDC, ably led by the Amiable Chief Sam Mungo. Of course, what do I expect? When two brothers, two young people meet, there will be synergy, there will be a baby, and they will survive. Therefore, let me go back a little bit in my religious living to say, let this spirit be in you. Governor and MD, two is also. This spirit of unity that will bring about good things in Rivers State and Jordan, may it continually be. I want to also thank my brother and my majesty, Eze Bagabaka. Today is a cross-cultural day. Today is Rivers State. And we are doing the Rivers State together. When I grew up in this town, there were a few cars. We used to trek from town to the land. And we knew virtually all the families. Nobody counted for the other here, from here or from there. Everybody is old boy. So you always see people like Okilo also calling people old boy. Countryman. Say to your friend, countryman. That is the signal tune for today. Countryman. Because if we forget, history will forget us, but it will never happen. He was born into a family that is financially challenged. By the way, most of these speakers and documentaries have done most of my work for me. But what I want to do is to speak to the people as an academic and to bring out the fine details where they live. Where do they live? Okilo was born into a financially challenged family, financially challenged environment. But he never allowed that environment to determine his future. He did not allow the environment to set his timetable on him. He fished, he farmed, and that is why he's called a fisherman. He went to school, acquired primary school education. And when he found out that he could not progress beyond that, in that environment, you have to leave the rurality of Obeine and St. Michael to June. Okilo also did one good thing that happened at that time, which I came to meet. A lot of rivers men and women who didn't have money subscribed to this exam success, rapid results, and so on. If your father didn't have the money, and you are in a boring state, you look for a way to break that barrier. So Okilo did and broke that barrier. He became a teacher and taught in Port Harcourt. But in 1958, he relocated. No, earlier than 1958, he relocated to Degema, having applied the General Certificate of Education. He now wanted to be a courtman. You know what a courtman is? Court interpreter. Magistrate. Say this and that. So he did the judicial clerk thing. But luckily for him, faith was on his side. Grace from above came upon him. He met that family on that corridor. Degema, Abonima corridor. So Okilo will always quickly finish his work as a coupler to go and learn at the feet of the master, Chief Harold Abonima. That is where it starts. Who is your mentor? Everybody today in China and in River State is a big boy. Everybody that came with my own structure, my own, this, my own. Who is your mentor? How did you grow? What is your trajectory? The FBI says if you want to know and see corruption, follow the trail of the money. So when we trail your family tree, trail your ancestors, who is your mentor? Okilo was tutored by a great man called Obeine. He himself was a revolutionary. Having fought against his father, politically for him. I am not advocating that you go and fight your parents. But I'm saying that you can challenge them in thoughts and begin to review what they stand for, what you stand for, and what your children will be tomorrow. And so when Labade started teaching and infusing into young Okilo these great ideas, Okilo was satisfied. Matthew, it has been stated here, Okilo was a Sikist. But, you know, the interesting thing was that the elders, the chiefs at that time, had been to a lot of conferences. They come with the promise of the Niger Delta region or River State. And so they were now advocating for this new El Dorado, this great Jerusalem, this politically safe environment where you of today will be. Yesterday, that is what they were thinking. What is your thought about tomorrow for your children? Of course, that family knew that time will come, it will pass on. But he wanted a better life for those of his years. Okilo knew that he would pass on, but he wanted a better life for this community. What are your thoughts? The thought process of a man defines him. And Okilo says, when divinity plunges into that line of thoughts, God himself grants your request because you have a good heart.
in the 1950s, the parties existed as hegemonies. NPC to the north, Action Group to the west, NCIC to the east. Then, according to my great friend, the chief, Damabie, in one of the speeches he gave sometime ago in IC, he said, then where is the south? I'm sure you have forgotten. He was asking, where is the south? The south is Niger Delta. Nobody thought about it. But then, like I said, when Damabie and Co went to London, they told them that, gentlemen, you are not on the sharing table. The only way you can get on the sharing table is create your own platform. Get your own party, fill your own candidates, and when you must have won some elections and shown relevance, we can come in and help you. Of course, the British knew about the resources of Nigeria, and they will want to do business. So the elders came, and when they came, they met very vociferous, intolerant, and arrogant political parties that did not want the alternative view. If you say you are NDC, beat him to the who that? It was in such a politically toxic milieu that Melford Okilo operated. How would that be stuck at his neck? And then Melford Okilo transversed the whole of the old river states. The year he came to Port Harcourt, 1958, was the year that Obeine floated the Niger Delta Conference. So he became one of the people who abandoned NCS and became a founding member of NDC. And that is what Michael in his book and poem, The Road Less Traveled. In The Road Less Traveled, he said, this is a road that only few people pass through. But having traveled it, it has brought me great fortune. It was on this road less traveled that he met the master. The master and he sat together and they agreed on 11 seats. That election was very dangerous. But I can tell you one thing that happened. Just like this Zambia situation, Melford Okilo also read his obituary when he was alive. He was canvassing and going towards Zambia brass around Yenegua. NCNC thugs tried to assassinate, killed some members of the entourage. He managed to escape. And then when he got to Lagos, the next day they were announcing the news. They said, Melford Okilo is dead. Meanwhile, the man is there watching the TV, and the region is still there. Such was the toxicity of the environment. Such was the negativity of human thought. That even at that time, people were ready to kill and maim just to maintain political interest. But it was not bothered. That election, when they fielded it, 11-6, only we were going to kill one. And when Okilo only him win, they were handicapped. To tell you how bad it was, they didn't have money to sponsor their families. Okilo had to sell his rally bicycle. You know what it means in those days for a man to sell rally bicycle or Honda motorcycle? The big men had cars, the middle class had motorcycles, and then semi-middle class had rally. If you are Port Harcourt, you understand what I mean. And especially if it is the white horse. Yes. You have a witness in the house. Now, if that be the case, Melford Okilo had to sell that rally, 13 pounds, and use it to run his elections. The good
news is that election led to great fortune. By that election, the Niger Delta had a representative in Parliament. 2, by that election, the British Army told Nigeria that if you can show us national spread, anybody that shows us national spread will declare independence and you build government of the day. Okilo's deeds of hard work and political wisdom was able to move to the north in alliance with the NPC. And because it was under the NPC arrangement that he won that election, Nigeria was declared an independence. I do not know whether there are any people here who know the importance of this thing. When it is said in political balance about the handshake across the Niger, it is the people of the Niger Delta, only the people of the north, and by that bringing freedom and ending years of slavery for the whole of the geographical expression for all rivers. You may downplay it because you are free today. It is only those who are free that know the price that paid as slaves. By that election, he became parliamentary secretary, which is junior minister. By that election, that became the leader of the party in power. By that election, Okilo, his mentee, is now a minister, a junior minister. And so naturally, they have to allocate him a good house. Number 9 Temple Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Now let me tell you, Ikoyi became literally the embassy of the unknown People's Republic of Niger Delta. The reason being, all the activists, just like we the Jaws run to Biafra as our national headquarters. 9 Temple Road was the headquarters of all activists, minority rights interests, and those people who wanted attention for our brother to play a positive life in their lives. Some of those who went there were Jasper Agatabo, Omuna, Long John Akuro. These gentlemen were supposed to be in the army of Igbo's expansionist movement under his SCS. And so they will not, I think all these people never in the church where I did really. But when that Babide and Co. infused their ideologies into Okilo, they were the young men that rallied around the elders. And that is how the NDC was formed. Now, having formed the NDC, what were the plans? What was the thrust of NDC? To create the Niger Delta region or outright River State. So if we now see that River State is created, even though Niger Delta region has not been created, somebody fought for it long ago. The other thing they did at that time was to say that let us try and link up with one another. We are minorities. These people are in the majority. Let us try as much as possible to create good relationships. And they did. That led to the fact that some of these our young men will come and ask questions. I said, and who will come? They'll come to the house of Okilo. They may not be there in the history books, but as an academic, I would have asked, and I would have known that knowing the burning spirit in Jasper at that abode, you would have asked the great legislator, Okilo, Bros, this thing about the Niger Delta you told us, on which we all voted you and laid down our lives, what is happening? Where are we going to? When will it be? And when they could not have answers, or there were answers, or innuendos,
that we have prompted the 12-day war by these great men. History books may not record it because they will tell you to come and prove it. But I would have believed that the revolutionary spirit that was pulled down from that family to Okilo, that was how the militarization of the struggle started. So if we trace the historical perspectives of our struggle as Ethiopians, struggle as Niger Delta, struggle as university, as minority, we will see that all this started with certain great men having laid their lives. The implication now is, how many men in this world who have political power are ready to lay down their lives for their people? Rather to see a society filled with men with vulgar acquisition. All they want is money. All they want is property. But these men, even when they made money in those days, use it to sponsor and train and educate people from faraway class. Therefore, for the purposes of this lecture, it's not just to remember what are we taking home. Let us have less tendencies to be kleptomaniac, government, dominant, public funds, and just looting them in our pockets. Let us deploy the Commonwealth for the common good. That the history of this land will be said that it was in your time that greater things came to River State or to Bayelsa. I will go ahead to state also that having won this seat, Okilo was very good at maintaining relationships with people. And that was why against the treaties of New York, he decided to follow Shagari and Shiroma to form the NPN. Some of you joined the party, but you didn't know how the party came. Some of you who even joined the party didn't know how the party came. But Okilo was one of those. Based on that, he became governor in this state. In fact, if you remember, before NPN came to Port Harcourt, it was NPP that was reigning, isn't it? NPN came late to Port Harcourt. At least I remember as a small boy, I went to a meeting on Anthony's friends. When they say news don't come, where we go, everybody gather. I was at Anthony's. Who was there that went to Anthony's? The point I'm trying to make is this. The relationship he built, he did not just go for vulgar acquisition. He made relationships very important things to him. Those relationships helped him to become NPN governor. Even when the NPN as a party did not pay the 20 million they promised him. Against all odds, he won the governorship. Well, how did he become? Because he had worked with Shagari at the center, under Balewa. He had worked with the Shiroma. He had worked with the Northern Talks, and he had a good relationship. For our political class, what kind of relationships are you building? And how will they become beneficial to we, your followers, and the future generation there to come? Relationships. This is no more a lecture, but I call it reflection. Reflections as to what happened yesterday and how it has an impact on today. Reflections on how it will be for tomorrow. The political class must go away with something from here. And that is to say, the purpose of politics is to amass power and develop our environment and human beings. That's so. The reality we face as a people is that when we do apply that power, we will only stop it back into our pocket and we say in the popular parlance, this is my turn. It is no more anybody's turn.
If we see the protests on the streets of Nigeria in the past 3 days, politicians beware. People are beginning to ask questions. It's no more business as usual. I want to project further to say to us that if you look at the life and times of Melford Okilo, having acquired all these energies, political power and so on, he used it to develop this environment. Brother, sister, in the corner where you come from as a politician, what have you done with your political victories? What has your community benefited? What have your brothers benefited? Because after some years, you will be up from that seat. Then you will ask questions. But let me say this and hear me clearly. In these days, Nigerians have become wiser. 200 plus universities are not for nothing. The history of the last election should teach us a lesson as political class and followers. Nobody expected that Labour would come and harass the existing government in Rivers State. The reason it is, society has become more educated, and society wants its needs met. Okilo saw that need in future, and that was why he developed and deployed the manpower he developed. The first central thing he wanted to do was to make UST earlier. But by the politics of Nigeria, they made the University of Benin from a technical school when education was on the exclusive list. But no sooner he saw the opening and he came under the concurrent list, he decided that it was time to make UST the center of excellence. And most of the friends we have here are from UST. Therefore, you two great people, great men and Nigeria, great communities that are better off in the house. When Okilo ruled, Rivers State was a small dot on the satellite map. But today it is an industrial city with bias under the microscope, attracting international satellites of government. The reason being that its resources are getting bigger. And so the demands of the public and the society are getting bigger. We must begin to reassert and reassess our position. Government is not only about road maintenance. Government is not only about building houses and infrastructure. Government is about developing people and making sure that they have a life. Therefore, I commit to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic is Melford Okilo in the emancipation of the Niger Delta. Now listen, I want to summarize. Emancipation means pulling somebody out of danger. Freedom, pulling somebody to safety. And then when you look at it, Niger Delta, it represents different things to different people. For the winning condition people, it is 2 local governments in the Delta State and the Old River State. For the people in the hydrocarbon industry, that is NGDC. It is River State, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, Ondo, it also extends to it. But for the purposes of this lecture, let us say Niger Delta is the South. When you say emancipate, what did Okilo do to emancipate? One, he liberated the minds of the people who followed him. Rufus Adajudge testified here that he gave them lectures. He did not tell them just go to the ministry and say, you are directed.
You also told them the philosophy and the line of thought. You develop minds, you develop people, and deploy them. They are the people in charge of River State, they are the people in charge of Bayelsa. They are also the people representing us in Abuja. Two, it changed this environment for better. You can now see a man who thought about independent power supply in those days, when the North was not sensitive to it. Come to think of it, Obeine wanted to do the same. The House has been quickly and played politics and blocked it. But Okilo saw it earlier in the day. Readers now a man who so death, who never himself has said, this is my own, my legislature. And therefore, one of the things I will stand up with today is that as you go back to your corners, also think about what the old man taught us. Do not allow the environment to define you, but Christ has only applied. Make it better. Therefore, in the words of your father, I will say, we will remember him. From the going up of the sun to the going down of the sea, we will remember him. May we never forget what he taught us. And may we make our environment and people better than we made. Thank you.
He's an activist, and he has spoken as an activist that he is. He's an academic with a very wealthy collection of history of the people of the Niger Delta, and that has shown in his presentation. But somebody whispered that he is also a politician. Your esteemed personalities, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Professor Obeine in that wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, please permit me to appreciate the patience, the indulgence, and also the show of support by His Excellency, the River State Governor, who's been sitting here all morning participating in this event. His Excellency is here seated, listening to all this contribution and all of these people. Please, I want us to land our feet and put our hands together for His Excellency, represented by the Secretary of the State Governor. Please, let's land our feet to appreciate his patience. Thank you, Dr. Tabi. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. It's now the seats. We'll go straight to the next paper presentation. And please, I want the lecturer to stay within 10 minutes of time. Please, Your Excellency. Okay. His Excellency has to come in at this moment. Please, let's welcome His Excellency, Sansin represented by the Secretary of the State Government, Dr. Tabi. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Nigeria, Dr. ably represented by His Excellency Ambassador Gali, the wife of the former President, Okilo,
Also represented the chairman of this occasion, Your Excellency, the former governor of the state, my chief, of course, and the judge, Your Excellency, the former military administrator of River State, Your Royal Majesty, King Alfred the Smith, and Her Majesty the Queen. Your Royal Majesty, the Amayanabo of Okilo Kingdom, Your Royal Majesty, the Eze Baka, the erudite keynote speaker, Professor Kennedy, because the former minister, Admiral Phoenix, and the chairman of PANDEF, Senator Emmanuel Okilo, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, other traditional rulers in our midst, gentlemen of the press, I bring you all very warm greetings and felicitations of His Excellency, the Governor of River State, Sir Sin or Sinalai Fobra. And I bring you his. And I got information that the hall is almost ready, and he was not around yet. I started calling him. He didn't even pick then because he was engaged. He later called me to say that I may have to be here to represent him, and handed over, asked his orderly to hand over his speech, his written speech to me, so that I can come here to deliver his speech. But I must say, from the inception of this idea of hosting and institutionalizing the Chief Melford Okilo Foundation, His Excellency, the Governor of River State, has been part of it. It has always had its blessing, and it believes it is the right way for us to go. On a personal note, I must say I am indeed elated to be the one to represent the Governor at this very auspicious event. Now, I've heard a lot before now about Chief Melford Okilo from a lot of my senior political mentors. I had a lot about him from the day I met with some of the committee. I was telling them I had a lot about him from Prince Uche Secondary. When I worked under him at the assistant legal advisor of PDP when he was chairman, every time he's talking to you, he'll be quoting Chief Melford Okilo. Every time he's talking, he's quoting me. And I learned a lot about him. And as a politician, you know, it made me to start thinking about who is this man, Chief Melford Okilo. You know, knowing that in his days as governor, I was just a secondary school student. So I didn't have that personal knowledge of him as governor of River State. But I must say, even as a student then, sincerely, I felt his impact. A lot of his policies were grassroots oriented, like the one we really felt then was the urbanization policy, or they call it decentralization, or whatever name you call it. But then, when he made Abonima Obeine, Obeine, we really, as young boys, felt impact because making it an urban area, it came with at least a road, first access from Port Harcourt, a road in the urban area, general hospital, and other very essential amenities. And looking at his tenure and his life, I'm able to, see that he is one governor not in the mold of the regular politician. Usually, most regular politicians will play to the gallery in whatever they do. They will look at what the media will catch quickly and bring personal, appellations to them. But I see in his life and his tenure, a leader who was doing what does not have to bring glory to him as a person, or what is necessary to touch the life of the ordinary. Oftentimes, I would say, politicians are always, a lot of politicians are interested in the container, big container, monuments, but oftentimes not interested in the context, and the direct and personal impact. What they want is the monuments, people say, oh, that's the big monument, but the context oftentimes they're not. But this is one man who struggled to achieve that content that will touch the ordinary man. And most of us benefited from it. At least in my secondary school days, then we all benefited from free education, totally free education. And that's why I say I am personally elated that I'm the one representing His Excellency at this event today. So I'll just go on and read the speech of His Excellency, the Governor of River State. It is my pleasure to be part of this event to commemorate the 16th memorial lecture of a great statesman, a great builder, a grassroots leader, a developmental giant of the Niger Delta, the countryman governor, His Excellency Chief Melford Okilo, the first civilian governor of the whole River State, former minister, senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let me thank the Okilo family and the Okilo Foundation, and all of you, the array of distinguished former governors, traditional rulers, former presidents, who are all here today, just to remember this great son of Niger Delta who deprived himself of several comforts for our common good and development of the Niger Delta. It is not an accident that this event is taking place at this moment in the history of our dear country, when we need the inspiration and guidance of trusted and tested leaders, when we need moral and leadership compass to guide us in the life of our country. Chief Okilo had great visions. He was an archetype of patriot, humanist, welfare, cum philosopher, a selfless leader who governed River State with frugality and transparency. The history of Niger Delta, indeed River State and Bayelsa State, will be grossly inadequate without is without a mention of his selfless service. As the first civilian governor of Rivers State, he was one with many firsts. The establishment of the state university, independent power project, several development clusters, particularly 50 units of brain development to the hinterland, payment of bursary to students, decentralization, establishment and decentralization of Rivers State University of Technology, that's multi-campus system, as well as an advocate of resource control. Indeed, Chief Melford Okilo have left a very huge imprint in the sons of Niger Delta and the entire nation. He was courageous and stood against retrogressive policies that were clogs on the wheels of our development. It is therefore in recognition of his laudable contributions to the development of the Niger Delta, and in particular, Rivers State, that we are all here today. Therefore, urge all of us to reflect on the life and contributions of this statesman. We can do this by always paying homage to the incredible successes and legacies of this late servant, and make sure we follow the right course of action and marshal out the consequences of failing to pursue such actions. Indeed, I'm delighted to note that I've been informed that this discourse will become a yearly activity where we will gather always to reflect on the giant strides of yesteryears and look forward to further giant strides in future. And I stand here to commit to the fact that the Rivers State government will always support this great idea to ensure that the Chief Melford Okilo Foundation indeed make a success of this great idea. I'm aware that we are to launch a fund for that purpose, and I have already approved the sum of 80 million naira for the secretary government to liaise with the family and the foundation to kickstart this process of raising funds and organizing to ensure that this great idea remains a success, not just for today, but for tomorrow. On this note, I very happily declare this event open and wish you all a very, very successful day. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, indeed, Your Excellency. And that was the speech of the governor delivered by the Secretary to the State Government. And right now, His Excellency will formally unveil the plaque showing that the foundation for His Excellency Senator Melford Okilo has now been declared open. Your Excellencies, may I ask His Excellencies, Your Excellencies to join His Excellency on stage. And the Royal Fathers, kindly join His Excellency on stage, please. Your Excellencies, and the royal fathers kindly join His Excellency on stage. Thank you. Please let's have His Excellencies, the former President, represented by His Excellency Ambassador God knows Gali, His Excellency, former Rivers State Governor Rufus Adejo, and the royal fathers. May I also call on the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Chief Samuel Oboku, PhD, kindly come on stage. I also like to call on Niger Delta environmentalists and human rights activists and Kilbits, kindly come on stage. And also permit me to also welcome Dr. Ebitimi Ambare, please kindly come on stage. Thank you so very much. And the Royal Father of the day, please, we want you to come on stage to join His Excellency, okay, to formally unveil this plaque commencing this inauguration. Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, Your Royal Majesties, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, Grand Solicitor of Rivers State, I have the honor and privilege to unveil this plaque of our distinguished leader and father to commemorate this 16th anniversary and also to establish the foundation and kickstart the fundraising ceremony to perpetuate his legacies in Rivers State and Nigeria, to the glory of God and for the blessing of all of us as people of Rivers State, Niger Delta and Nigeria, in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
And then have it His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, Executive Governor of Rivers State, represented by His Excellency Dr. Kamida, who will formally declare open this fundraising ceremony for the 16th memorial and launch of the Chief Melford Obeine Okilo Endowment Foundation. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, Your Excellency, the guest of honor and the chief host. Thank you, Your revered royal fathers. Thank you so much. And now, the launch of the Chief Melford Obeine Okilo 16th Memorial Endowment Foundation has been declared open and declared open by His Excellency. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, following the unveiling of the plaque and the declaration that the 6th memorial and launch of the Chief Melford Okilo Endowment Foundation should commence, we'll be taking goodwill messages. And the first goodwill message that we'll be taking will be coming from one of our guest speakers, who will now be giving his goodwill message. Please permit me to welcome on stage for his goodwill message the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Chief Samuel Oboku, PhD. Please, you're welcome for your goodwill message, sir. Thank you, sir. Please welcome him for his goodwill message.
Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Rivers State, is represented by the Secretary to the Government of Rivers State. The first civilian or military. Our Royal Majesty and your Queen, the former governor, our father, who was Anna George, and our traditional rulers that are here, other leaders of the River State, old River State. I think we're here. As long as I'm concerned, this garden is an old River State garden, not Bayelsa or Rivers. So I want to apologize for coming late, because I was also engaged in another program that has to do with my staff. I have to finish that from here. So let me apologize to our fathers and our mothers for coming in late. This event is very, very important. So anybody who appreciates the sacrifices of Okilo ought to be here to celebrate him. But for Okilo, I happen to be an Obeine. I think there is one lesson that for Okilo has taught us. That for Okilo has taught us the lesson of sacrifice. He's a leader who actually served selflessly without thinking of how to amass wealth. All his life was to serve his people. And he's also a true nationalist. A nationalist who actually took this part of Nigeria to align with the center, because his political philosophy had always been to align with the center. And that has also brought so much benefit to us as people from this part of Nigeria. I always give this example. At the high point of Okilo's sacrifice was when NSM was formed and we had PDP on one hand in Bayelsa State. And because he believed in aligning with the center, he actually sacrificed his own party, NSM, to align with the PDP. And that was when he was made a senator. And because he aligned with the center, joining the PDP, we were able to produce a president from this part of the region on the platform. So for all of us in our life, I believe we must learn from that lesson. Let us not be selfish in our political outlook. Because a political party favors me, you must think of what that political party can afford to your people, not all about you. Okilo was selfless. He did not hold on to his NSM because he wanted to be a national leader of NSM. He decided to give chance to his people to be linked to the center. He swallowed his pride, he swallowed his ego, and subjected himself to the leadership of the then former deputy governor who later became the president of Nigeria. Not many of us will be able to do that in this present day politics of our region. People will always want to grandstand and possibly remind others to say, when I started politics, you were not born. But he wanted to give the younger generation a chance to lead. So he swallowed the pride of being an older politician and a leader to join forces with the PDP. And that sacrifice is what today we all celebrate to say we have a president. I want we the younger ones to learn from the history of Melford Okilo. Immortalizing Melford Okilo is not only by celebrating memorial or delivering lectures. For those of us who are academicians, let us write literatures about Okilo. His good works, his sacrifices, his philosophy, his principles, so that the younger generation will also be guided by the philosophy and principles of Chief Melford Okilo. Whatever ceremony we have today, whatever speech we make today, it can only be heard and be seen by those who are present here today. So many of us are not here. Most of our younger ones are not here. Most of our younger ones do not know what Okilo stood for. Most of our younger ones do not even understand his principles. They only know that he was the former executive governor of Old River State. But if you ask us, what are his philosophies? What did he stand for? Many of us may not tell. So please, let us not allow this memory to die. By immortalizing it, by celebrating him today through a memorial is also very, very important. But most importantly, I think writing literatures about him would be more important. Because different persons interacted with him at different levels. Write what you know about him in that phase of your interaction. So let it not be as if only one person is telling the story about Melford Okilo. Or let us not dwell on the literature heroes. We know he has written several literatures. But some of those informations could be updated. If you write an autobiography, sometimes you might forget certain things. Some people were with you will even remember more things that you did more than you. So please, let us keep writing. Because in writing literature, that is the way we can immortalize our leaders. Today, our father, Alfred Jefferson, is here. Not many people in Port Harcourt, especially younger ones coming up, know that the secretariat we're enjoying today, the Point Block, was part of his vision and his creation. Not many persons will understand that maybe the old flyovers we are riding on, somebody built them. People may only know those who built the new flyovers. And I even think the same people of our generation even built the old flyovers. So before we came to see development, we had fathers that have started this development. Let us immortalize these our leaders by way of writing literature. That is the only message I want to give by way of my goodwill message. And for the memorial, I think, just like as the River State government has made commitment, you know, the governor has the power to make public commitments because he's the chief security officer of the state, and probably the House of Assembly have agreed with him on what to say. I am the head of an agency. I will not be able to say what we are going to do immediately, but what I want to commit to is we are going to partner with the organizers, just the way we also supported this event. We are going to partner with the organizers, have meetings with them, and see where we can really come in to support this laudable program and to ensure that it does not only stand for today, let it be something that will continue, something that will continue, and something that others will also come and inherit. We should also look beyond just having a memorial. Let us think of how to build something that will really immortalize Melford Okilo. We can all come together and raise funds to possibly build a library where the literature of Melford Okilo and other literature that others are going to be writing will also be in that place. So that when people come to Port Harcourt, they will look at the Chief Melford Okilo Library. It could be a state-of-the-art library that has both digital and hard copies. But let us do something that children coming behind also come to see and also read from. It is not only immortalizing his name by calling a street by his name, or immortalizing his name by naming a stadium after him. But I think doing something more than that, like building a the standard library, because if you look at the look of that, there's really no standard library. The one we used to have was one at Port Johnson. But that one, I don't know if it's Bereca, yeah, I don't know if it's still in existence.
It's there.
But let us come together and build a standard library that will be named after the Okilo. Thank you very much. And the NDDC is very, very willing to partner to achieve that. Thank you very much.
Again, another wonderful round of applause for Chief Samuel Okilo, PhD, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, National Delta Development Commission in the district. Please, a wonderful round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Again, Dr. Samuel Okilo, we hear you very clearly. Your words resonate. And in his words, beyond these talk shows, beyond this gathering, we must do something formidable to remember His Excellency Chief Melford Obeine Okilo. It's so disheartening, permit me to put it this way, Your Excellencies. Some couple of weeks ago, I heard over the news that the Bayelsa state government was putting in place a structure for Chief Melford Okilo, that he did not have a house. I don't know if I'm correct. Am I correct? Yes. Again, that's something. Even the former governor, D.H. Steve, and other George, they don't have anything of such. They don't have a government-owned property built for them. They don't. And the former governor, Rufus Adado, is here. The former governor, D.H. Steve, is here. You know, when the MD of NDDC threw that challenge, it brought a lot of memories to me. These are people who served this state meritoriously in the days of their youth. Nothing to point for this service. What do we now say to the younger generation? How do we preach service and labor to the younger generation? Well, again, I leave that for the discourse. Your Excellencies, permit me at this point to welcome one of our guest lecturers who will also be given a goodwill message. Please permit me to welcome a prominent environmentalist, a human rights activist, and the founder of Agape Birthright. Please let's put your hands together as welcome Okilo Riggs. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so very much. And again, I must sincerely apologize to her. She's been here a while ago. We apologize to her. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Your Highnesses, my fathers, Your Excellencies, may I please stand on all established protocols for the sake of time, because I notice I've been reduced from guest to goodwill. So I will try and run through what I have from my heart. I didn't get to work with our great father, but I got to meet him. But I didn't get to work with him. And so I decided that if I was going to say anything about him, that I would have to do it from the position of facts. We're gathered here today to honor a great man who did not see himself as a great man. He rather saw himself as a palm wine tapper and a fisherman. I agree with him. As an Ijaw man of Niger Delta, he was truly a great palm wine tapper and a fisherman, because that is who his people are, who the Niger Delta people are, and who the Ijaws are. He was a champion for the marginalized people of the Niger Delta. He was a remarkable leader and a statesman of extraordinary vision to develop his people and region. When I was contacted and asked to be a guest speaker on this occasion to honor a humble man who loved his people and region with all his humble heart, tears welled up in my eyes. I blinked the tears away and asked myself, why do we run around honoring great men and women when they are dead and can't appreciate our efforts? I knew then I would speak truth to us, and I also know that truth is bitter. We cannot continue to ignore our heroes when they are alive. And I knew that I will speak to governors, I will speak to senators, House of Representative members, State Assembly members, youth, women today. And hopefully, we all will hear and change and have a heart like Chief Okilo had and do better than Chief Melford Okilo. Our politicians have more today than Chief Okilo had. And look at what he did and what they are doing now. He is indeed our one and true original countryman. I believe men and women who have sacrificed themselves, their comfort, and sometimes at the detriment of their families, should be honored when they are alive. They can then take a deep breath, smile, and say thank you. And we can in return say to our fathers and our leaders, you deserve more, sir or ma'am. This is just to say thank you. There are those like our father, Chief Melford Okilo, still alive. Some of them are seated here. With all due respect, we must do better. We must begin to honor them now. We must honor them soon. Rivers State and Bayelsa State have a lot to remember and honor Chief Okilo for. Why are we fundraising? Rivers and Bayelsa State alone can fund the endowment fund. When I look at what our monies in Rivers State and Bayelsa State have been used to do for other states, I sigh and I say now, that is a waste. Our past governors will not think of funding to honor our heroes past, but will use our monies and honor other people's heroes. Who will honor our heroes then? Do others honor our heroes? I ask. No wonder people who use our wealth for themselves ask us, what have we done with the 13%? Truly, the question is, what have we done with the 13%? I hear that I was corrected here again. I heard about renovating Chief Melford Okilo's personal house in Bayelsa 16 years after his death. It is a shame, because we are ashamed to show it to people in each state and to say, perhaps this is where Melford Okilo lived. But now we're hearing that he didn't have a place. Let us wake up and do the right things for our heroes while they are alive. People like me who were not fortunate, as I said, to work with Okilo are fortunate to have met him before he died and express our gratitude to all he did for our people states and Niger Delta region. Moving forward, we expect our servants, politicians, to continue the great things Okilo did and do more and do better than Okilo. The youth here, if you are from River State, Bayelsa, or Niger Delta, if you are of Ijaw Nation, never forget, before you become a political jobber, remember Chief Okilo began his political career at the age of 19. And today, at 19 years, our youth are hailing these honorable men as honorables. No, they are not honorables unless they are doing what Okilo did. Okilo joined the struggle to free the amalgamated Nigeria. In May 1958, he joined the NDC. I still wonder why we cannot bring back to life the NDC. We need our youth to get an education in Niger Delta. Okilo was a youth too at one time in his life. He stopped his education due to lack of money. His parents did not pay his school fees. But he later finished his education and became a teacher, a lawyer, a businessman, a clergy, a councillor, a member of the Federal House of Representatives, a minister, a governor, and a senator. This was a man who had to send back his education. At that time, there were no amnesty programs. There were no NDPC. There was no Ministry of Niger Delta or 13% allocation. Yet, he educated himself. We have no reason for our youth not to get an education. He saw the poverty, neglect, and environmental degradation of the Rivers people, now Bayelsa excluded, and Niger Delta, and dedicated his life to the service of his people and humanity. That is a true politician. Not our people who are politicians today and lock themselves away in our government houses or in Abuja. Okilo was the first to act on resource control. He mobilized the people of Oloibiri landowners into a landowners association, which became a platform for agitating for better compensation for the landowners whose land were acquired for oil exploitation. For this, his people trusted him throughout his political career. He became the first elected governor of River State. His passion went with him to the executive office. His tenure was stopped by the military coup of '98. But his unwavering commitment to the development of the state was clearly showing. He was on a mission to close the gap between the immense natural wealth of the region and the naked poverty that oppressed his people. Under his servant leadership, River State began to see transformation. He prioritized education, healthcare, and infrastructure. The people began to see the benefits of their land resources. He initiated numerous development projects that laid the foundation for today's River State. Let us celebrate Chief Okilo today in River State, Bayelsa State, and Niger Delta with a sense of pride and ownership of our God-given resources. Besides politics, Chief Okilo was a philanthropist. He believed sincerely in the power of education and community development as tools to empower his people. Until his death, he supported numerous initiatives that provided scholarships, built schools, and improved healthcare facilities in the state. His generosity was not limited by political office. It was a lifelong commitment to the welfare of his people, the fishermen, the palm wine packers, and periwinkle-picking women of the riverine community, of which I am one. In conclusion, a legacy of leadership and compassion. Chief Melford Okilo was more than a politician. He was a leader who embodied the principles of service, development, and philanthropy. His life's work serves as a powerful reminder of what it means to lead with compassion and to fight for justice. Even when the odds are against you, he understood that true leadership is not about power or position. Rather, true leadership is about using one's influence to uplift others. Today, let us be inspired by his example of commitment to servant leadership and truth. Let's rededicate ourselves to our states, Niger Delta, and all marginalized communities, ensuring that our resources and wealth of our lands, rivers, creeks, mangroves, and swamps benefit all our people. We have paid too high a price in sweat, blood, environmental pollution.
Come to the front. All the ushers, all of you in white jerseys, all the girls in white jerseys, sharing whatever, come to the front. Please, could you come to the front? Now. Don't give anything to anybody. Come to the front now. Can I have the organizers bring them to the front? I said don't give anything. That lady there, stop her. Could you stop her? Come to the front. All of you should come to the front. Come to the front, all of you. Every one of you come to the front. Come to the front now. Now, this is totally disrespectful. We have past governors seated here. We have the representative of the former president seated here. We have revered traditional rulers seated here. And there's no decorum. And this was exactly what Okilo brings is saying in our speech. We should learn to stand for who we are and what we are, not for pretense. Drop all those things on the floor there, and you stay there. No distribution of anything whatsoever. Drop it on the floor. Drop it on the floor. When we have revered persons and personalities here, you maintain decorum. Not until we respect ourselves, no one will respect us. How could we have past governors seated and you're making such noise over pieces of paper? My apologies to the representative of the president, or the former president, sir. My apologies to all the former governors here. Please, you maintain decorum wherever you are. I want the organizers to go around. Anyone who is not ready to maintain decorum, please kindly ask them respectfully to leave the hall. We are here for a very serious business. And we're talking about a man who was disciplined all his lifetime, was sacrificed and was selfless. This is not the kind of attitude to exhibit here. Again, my apologies to our leaders here. My apologies. Your esteemed personalities, your excellencies, in another 10-20 minutes, we'll be rounding up this event. We'll be taking some goodwill messages. At this point, please permit me to welcome, for his goodwill message, in 2 minutes, Engineer Prince Ebitani Angbare, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Niger Delta Basin Development Board, NDBE, and the National President. Please, you're welcome, sir. Please let's get hands here for Dr. Ebitani Angbare. You're welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, Mr. Former President, our dear former governor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, not forgetting our traditional rulers. We're here to respect the memory of a great man, our father, who lived selflessly, served selflessly. I enjoyed one of his policies as a student when he rolled out free transport system for secondary schools in Rivers State. That same period, they increased school fees and boarding house school fees. And because of that policy, going to school was not difficult for me. We couldn't pay the school fees. My mother asked me to come back to the house, but thanks to that free transport system, I did not fall out of school. And I have modeled my leadership style to be like this, selfless public service. Fast forward to today, I occupy the office of MD CEO of the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority. The vision of our late father aligns with the core mandates of the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority. It is about the grassroots. To keep his memory alive, I pledge that we will do everything possible to make life better at the grassroots. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And permit me also to welcome the national president of the Niger Delta Development Forum, PANDEF, distinguished Senator Obeine, please. You're welcome, sir, for your goodwill message. Let's listen to hands here for him, please.
Your Excellency, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, and his dear wife, who are ably represented, the chairman of this occasion, one of our fathers, former governor of Rivers State, Ada George, the former military governor of Rivers State, MD of NDDC, and all other protocols most respectfully observed. I stand here today to bring the goodwill message and the greetings of our leader, Chief Senator Edwin Clark, who is the leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, of which I am the national chairman. We work very closely with Chief Senator Melford Okilo in the emancipation and development of the Niger Delta region. Incidental too, I served in the same Senate with Chief Senator Melford Okilo, and we worked very closely on many issues affecting the Niger Delta region. One of which was the bill for the creation of Niger Delta Development Commission, which he brought in a lot of his experiences from the previous engagements in the struggles of the Niger Delta region. Also, we work very closely in the abrogation of onshore-offshore oil dichotomy and the resource control. He was a very upright person, to the extent that one of the commissioners, the first commissioner that was presented from Rivers State in the year 2000 for clearance in the Senate for NDDC board was rejected because Melford Okilo said that that particular commissioner served in his cabinet when he was governor of Rivers State. And at the end of that administration, he took away the generator that belonged to government. And Okilo insisted that such a man is not credible enough to serve on the board of the Niger Delta Commission. And he was disqualified by the Senate. Another representative was sent to the Senate and declared. That's the man. A very upright man, very nationalistic in nature, very humble and straightforward in his dealings with the affairs of his people. He cared more about his people than himself. Therefore, we are very happy to participate in this 16th memorial lecture of His Excellency. And we shall continue to participate in subsequent ones. We want to appeal to the government of Rivers State and government of Bayelsa State and all the good will people who have benefited immensely from their various undertakings of Senator Melford Okilo to ensure that his legacies are kept. And also, like the MD of NDDC said, it is not enough to build monuments for his remembrance. It would be better for Melford Okilo to continue to live in the hearts of people by the literature that we read about it. I know at a point Nigeria abandoned history, but I'm happy that history has been brought back to the curriculum. History about Melford Okilo, who is like an elephant that you can write stories about it from any angle, because an elephant, you can only say what you know, where you see, where you touch the elephant. So you can write, every one of us has something to write about Melford Okilo. I personally have. And therefore, that's why I support the stand of the NDDC MD to build a library for the memory of our hero, Chief Melford Okilo, who, as the apex body of the Niger Delta region, will support that project. Thank you and God bless.
And thank you so very much, distinguished Senator. Thank you so much. Again, we'll take the remarks from the various ethnic groups here represented this afternoon. Please permit me to welcome the representative of the Movement for Survival of Obeine People, a former president of MOSA. Please let me hands to welcome Legacy Piambra. Please welcome Mr. Legacy Piambra. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
His Excellency, former President of the Club of Nigeria, Dr. Obeine Jonathan, a represented Ambassador Igali, mean many things to many of us. And for me, coming from Obeine, and having served as former president of Melford, I can vividly recall the bond of unity and network that Okilo established as the governor of Rivers State. I remember clearly his association with the Obeine people, particularly I can remember a community that he took as his own, the Guara community in Obeine, where of course we know he was there. I think he built a good network, and that for me is the biggest challenge that I think that we all have to look up to at this point. The legacy of networking with our early communities, which was the signature of the man that was celebrated today. Across the Niger Delta, he was always everywhere. And one thing that has come out of today is the question of mentorship. It is all about what are our politicians teaching the younger generation. I must commend our father Chibuko Adajo for putting the thoughts of Chief Melford Okilo together. But what are our politicians teaching our younger generation today? Melford Okilo started at 19, based on the tutorship he got from Obeine. Today, what are politicians giving the young generation? I want to use the opportunity to challenge our politicians to stop giving our young ones guns, to stop creating enmity between the politicians. It is time to give them thoughts that can build them to become what they will become in the future. I stand here today to be a beneficiary of Obeine thoughts, because Obeine influenced a man called Obeine, and Obeine influenced a man called Kensa as I became my mentor today. So the mentorship we are looking at today comes from the Obeine, the chief is not here anymore, but I remember that it was a recommendation of Obeine that made themselves to become the first ambassador of Bono, and that is how the mentorship grows. What are our politicians teaching our younger generation today? It's no longer the thought process that went on the Obeine and the Okilos. How many politicians today can tell us how a book that we can read today? But go to the life of Melford Okilo. You see several books that he wrote on his own, which define the political direction and political thought. He walked in the footprints of people like Okilo, who is probably one of the deepest political thought that we have today. I think that it's not all about just celebrating. I think one legacy we'll take from here is that Melford Okilo stood for certain character, and I look at the children here. Seeing the children, you will see the symbol of humility that characterizes the life of the Melford Okilo. Our politicians stay humble today. Some become one small political office holder, and all over the place, they become something else. Can we take that legacy of humility from our father Melford Okilo? And I say that that is the way to move forward. But there's one thing that's critical here. Niger Delta Congress was formed at the time that NCC was dominant party across the region. But Chief Melford Okilo and later Obeine broke the dance. They refused to do follow. Niger Delta Congress, can we stop doing follow? Because every time we do follow, these are men who stood against the power machine of the NCC and created NDC and challenged them at the polls and still won the election. We can still do the same today. It's not about followers, it's not about following anything we see, but we must follow what we define our own destiny as a people. And then what, like Chief Melford Okilo and Obeine. Today, can we secure that platform here in the Niger Delta, where all communities, Obeine, equality, security, all of us can come together around the political thoughts. And again, there's a pandemic, but we need a platform that will define our political thought. Today, the injustices that Okilo fought against are still with us. They are still here with us. Today, we have the presidential initiative of gold mining, which empowers our state to do gold mining. Why can't we do oil mining in Niger Delta? Are we not in the same country? Is it not the same one country in Nigeria? Why are we giving people license in Zamfara to do gold mining and we cannot do it here in Niger Delta? It is time we challenge it. And we need people like all of us here to do it. The legacy has been laid for us. The battle has been drawn for us. It is calling all of us to join the battle the moment that they are for. Thank you.
And here you have it from Lagos City, former president of the Movement for Survival for Good People, speaking on behalf of Mercy. And also we have here a former president of Obeine, which is the apex social-political cultural organization of the people of Ikwe, Professor Simeon Achinewo. Please let's put hands together for him for his good message. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Again, a round of applause for Professor Achinewo, please.
Please let me observe all protocols. I am speaking on behalf of the good people, Oba and the Obeine, who were brothers. I hope I'm serious, I'm serious. Let me go here. I also happen to come from the University, which Okilo established. And I was a beneficiary of it because I became a vice chancellor later on that university. He said he made a statement when he was in power. Where in the South? I think he mentioned it today. Yeah. Where in the South? In 1940, what Lugai divided Nigeria into 3 regions: North, East, and West. Where in the South? That's 4 cardinal points. That is why Nigeria is suffering up to today. Nigeria is wobbling with 3 legs. That's why we are sick up to down. I believe is being corrected. They saw that vision. Where is the South? And that had kept Nigeria down up to now. Talking about remembering that man called Okilo. Well, my share with him started when he created campuses, when he established university. He created campuses, several of them. What happened when the Senate and the Council looked at the law of the university? The law of the university said only Senate can establish campus, not government. We met him, I was a member of council representing Senate. We met him to discuss with him, sir, it is very good, you have established campus, but the law of the university says only Senate can establish campus. And he said, go and look at it and let me. And we went back and looked at it and saw that none of the campus would be viable. In the University of Science and Technology, we have to share chemistry, physics, mathematics. Will you employ lecturers in each of the campuses? It was not feasible. He listened to us and agreed that he was not just a politician, he was not an academician. So that was the first encounter we had with him. But I'm saying because he loved education, he took over from what he established by giving automatic scholarship to university citizens. We benefited free scholarship from my university of Ibadan. I was there when the university was created, and he gave us blanket scholarship, all of us. And also, I was given scholarship to go for master and PhD in UK. Generosity. Okilo took up from that. And unfortunately, no more scholarship awarded in the university. The most important industry is human development. It is not flyover. Let me, unfortunately, the governor of the university has gone. Let him bring state scholarship. It is enduring. We will fade away. Other younger ones will come in. If you stop scholarship, how do you replace us? How we go? let the Rivers State government hear that it is very important that scholarship must be reinstated in Rivers State. And Bayelsa also here. They said that if you are not doing it, you must continue to develop human capital. It is continuous. Let me make a suggestion. I don't know if he has done it. You see, there was to immortalize Okilo or any of them. Let us look at the education, which they did very well. Can we establish a fellowship? I'm a beneficiary of what they call Fulbright Fellowship. If Fulbright was a senator in America, in the Senate, they passed a law establishing the Fulbright Fellowship, which funded directly by the American government in a kind of endowment. Every year, they put out a lot of money in a fixed deposit to continuously sponsor that scholarship. Can Rivers State government and Bayelsa State government take up this endowment to establish Okilo Fellowship, whereby they will contribute on annual basis 20 billion to 10 billion, whatever, in a fixed deposit that will give scholarship to our people. Overseas scholarship. There are several courses that are not available here, available overseas. You must have to send people to learn it. There's something they call robotic engineering, robotic surgery, which they are becoming very, very important. We don't have them here. Can we establish such fellowship or scholarship to immortalize Okilo? That's a suggestion I want to make. Thank you very much.
And thank you so very much, Professor Sikinachinu. A very cerebral point, a very, very cerebral one. So, how to immortalize Okilo is suggested. We need to have a special education endowment fund for young people. Your Excellency, permit me to recognize a very special person. His Royal Majesty King Air Commodore CEO Obeine, retired, JPDSS, the American of Curriculum, and that has been represented here by Chief Dr. Richard Perigwapu. We recognize you and we thank you so very much for staying all this while. I also recognize Honorable Asipapu Fred Ogwa, former member, House of Representatives, Obeine Federal Constituency. Thank you so very much, sir, and we appreciate your staying all through here. Also, again, permit me to recognize Honorable Barrister Ferdinand Marcos Obeine, Special Assistant to the President on Justice and Security Reform and ICT and Digital and Information Technology, represented here by Comrade Daziba Apiri, and thank you so very much. Also, the Chairman of their Brotherhood, Dr. Seibofa. I believe Dr. Seibofa, you're here. Thank you so very much, Dr. Seibofa. Elder TK Ogoriba is also here. Thank you so much, our leader and elder. Just two more goodwill messages. And before I call on the next goodwill message, also recognizing the presence of the Speaker, Rivers State Youth Leaders Assembly of Nigeria, Honorable Ambassador Dr. Prince Tony Jeminiema. Thank you so very much for staying all through with us. For a goodwill message, please let's welcome the representative of the Special Assistant to the President on Justice and Security Reforms and ICT and Digital and Information Technology, represented here by Daziba Apiri. Please, you're welcome for your 2 minutes goodwill message. Please, let's put our hands together for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
Obeine, Obeine, hands up, Asawada. Your Excellencies, Royal Majesties, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me with your respects to stand by the existing protocol. Pioneer National President of the Borough Council, here representing a brother and a friend, Special Assistant to the President on Justice Sector Reform
digital/ICT innovation. And this is what he has to say. Okilo, a beacon in the Delta, a goodwill message in honor of Chief Senator Melford Obeine Okilo. Imagine the Niger Delta as vast, untapped ocean. For decades, its riches were plundered, while its people were left to drown in poverty. Then a tempest of change swept through the region. His name was Melford Obeine Okilo. A lawyer by training, Okilo was a warrior at heart. He traded the courtroom for the political arena, where he would wage a relentless battle for the emancipation of his people. As the first civilian governor of Old River State, he was more than just a leader. He was a symbol of hope. Under the stewardship of the Niger Delta, he began to stir from the slumber roads, schools, and health care facilities started to emerge, like islands in a sea of poverty. Chief Melford Obeine Okilo's legacies is etched into the very fabric of the Niger Delta. His fight for justice, equality, and resource control laid the foundation for the region's journey towards self-determination. Today, as we gather to commemorate his life, let us not merely remember his achievements, but be inspired to build upon them. My name, that is the name of the young man, is Barrister Fernandez Marcus Obeine. Resonates with a similar spirit. Every time I hear the name Obeine, it's a reminder of the struggles and triumphs of the people. It's a call to action, urging us to continue to walk by the great leader. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to be part of this great gathering. As Obeine people in particular, let us continue to live by the legacies of our great leader. River State and Bayelsa, we are one people. Therefore, together we shall continue to work as a people. Long live Bayelsa State, long live River State. And let the memories of our father continue to live on. Hello!
Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, the MD and CEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, we're gradually winding up this event. It's been a very fruitful one. And if there's one message that we should go home with, is that His Excellency Melford Okilo must be monetized. At this juncture, I'm finding it a bit difficult because we have the children here who have been sitting all the while. I would like to call on either Okilo or Doctor to come forward. Doctor, thank you. Thank you so much. I would like Doctor to come forward to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the family. So much has been said about their father. I feel a little bit pained, MD sir, and Your Excellency. I feel a little bit pained when I learned that the only structure that we can point out that this is a new structure is not a befitting one. It is safe. And to hear how much want some decorum, please. I want some decorum in the hall. Everyone sit down. Security, please allow everybody to sit down. Everyone sit down. Everyone sit down. Sit down. This is a much we can do for the family. Please. Thank you, sir.
Bravo. River State. Yes, it's been as well as being. It's been a long time. I wish my friend, my former classmate, His Excellency Governor S. Barrows, everybody has personal relationships in life. All of you here today are here to give honor to a man who is old enough to be my grandfather. He is my cousin and my father's nephew. And the day of my birth, all of them were there to hold the small thing and he did it. And it's very close up to me. Melford Okilo is an ideology. If you don't know what an ideology means, let me explain to you in the language I know. In the US, when they say ideology, that means that you're a reverberation of someone's spirit. You don't have to be the person's son. You don't have to be his entity. You have to be a mindset. You need to understand that there are physical possibilities. That if one person can do it, if Christ can do it, I can do it. Now, many of you here are giving honor to Okilo, to everyone else. But these people here are all my fathers. Governor George, I was a child living with him. My uncle, you know, this story is known. The MD of NBC, none of you know that Okilo's wife is from Ayako. That's where he's from. And his father was the acting Obeine of Obeine. Many, many people have done things. This young man is from. Everybody gives congratulations. His Excellency to his here. Ambassador to his here. Look at the man now that language. All of you in the back there, everyone, every one of us here, including His Majesty. This is not a joke. Because everything we're doing here is on my head as a son. So I'm going to give this microphone over to my uncle and he'll say more about my late father because as a grandson, there is nothing I can say. I thank you, everybody.
Please permit me to stand on a I'm going to introduce Dr. Okilo. Talking about Okilo, so many things have been said about him. But what is central that Okilo, all his life, all his work, were based on the love principle. Because he loved, and so he had no enemy. And that's the truth about it. Because he loved people, if you are in pain, Okilo is feeling pain. If anyone was suffering, Okilo would show yourself. And so all the things he did were based on that love principle. Even when he was campaigning, the slogan, the love both. That's how Okilo did. And the one thing I've seen there, for the years that Okilo lived in River State, even as a teacher or as a interpreter, there's not one thing to show that Okilo had ruled River State for 4 or 5 years. There's nothing, nowhere that Okilo's name is mentioned to justify the number of years he has served the university. Not just the university, but the Niger Delta. His struggle was for Niger Delta, not to play the university alone. Nothing to show. Unlike these carnivals like Fedari, Amitu Kano, and the rest. In their own state, they are all utilized. And so when I heard that the River State government is interested in Okilo, I was very, very happy. And I said, when I do my heart, I must touch short on our things. I'm so impressed
this guest lecturer, with all the people who contributed to this occasion, that done so well. I can't mention the name of everybody here, but I must thank the chairman, Chief Rufus Agajor, who Okilo described as an angel in man form. He's a man who respects so much. And it's just to be here for this occasion. So thank you, sir, for coming. The president have left. The president was presented by Dr. Gali. I want to say big thank you. His program is quite tight, but for people to find time, not somebody to present it, I thank you for that. Others that I can't mention their names, please forgive me, I can't call everybody here. But we very much appreciate as the chief of the Okilo compound, and I want to thank all of you for making out time to attend this program occasion. Thank you very much.
And thank you so very much indeed. And that is the vote of thanks. Please, Dr. Kennedy, take the voice. Just a minute, please. Thank you. Your Excellencies, once again, the families of the Okilo have expressed their appreciation and thank you for all you've done for them, for the honor you've done for them. At this juncture, Your Excellencies, please may I ask that we rise our feet as we take the national anthem to formally close this event. And immediately after the national anthem, please will remain seated and allow the dignitaries to take their leave of the hall. Shall we take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Again, the national anthem is on the first page of the booklet's review. Let's have some paper, please. The national anthem. Nigeria, our native land, no tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Our sovereign motherland, our flag shall be our symbol, that truth and justice reign, in peace or battle on, and this we count as gain. To our children, our banner without stain. And the final paragraph. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Once again, Your Excellencies, thank you so very much. May I ask that we remain standing? Security, please maintain decorum while we allow our dignitaries to exit the hall. Thank you so very much, Your Excellencies. Thank you so very much. We're very traditional with us. Thank you so very much, everyone. Please, let's allow the dignitaries to exit the hall. Thank you so very much.
I'm fine, thank you. Please, I need you to assist me with some names. The name
outside so that you can see. Simeon.
Simeon.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually. Yes.
Like this. Oh, okay. Then the former president.
Legacy Gama.
Okay. N-E-G-E-O-R-S-I.
Diabara P-Y.
P-Y. Thank you very much.
Live on a live stream. A live stream, I did. And it is live. What closing? Yes, sir. Amavio. Oi. That's all like careful now. Back in. Okay, I'm done for the day. We're going out.